Hello, this is Marshallie and welcome to my garden diary. So, I've just finished the work that I had planned for the garden today, and I thought I'll just uh, feature or look at one of the new plants that has started opening or that started blooming. Yeah, but I I have been working on cutting back or deadheading some of the spent roses, and here you can see I have uh, a rose bloom that seems to be quite nice, and it's not spent, but I also pruned it or cut it back because it was almost on the ground, and so I don't want the blooms to be too low to the ground because one, it's just start hanging on the ground, and that's not very good. uh, I mean, it doesn't look very attractive, and two, then insects can crawl in it or it gets wet very easily, and that can lead to disease for the plant. So it's better to just cut it off, the ones that are quite low. So I like to have the 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 trunk of the rose um, bush like that, so there's nothing growing down there, no leaves, and so that gives the trunk enough light and air, and also less opportunities for things to crawl onto the roses and eat it, or for the rose to get any kind of disease because too much dirt or whatever is splashing upon the plant. So so I cut back uh, or deadhead the roses to this point. Oh, I missed something right there, but yeah, that's what I have to come in as often as possible, and so that what I don't get today, I'll get another day. So that's okay. And I worked in this area today. So from that post to that post and up way back to the front here. That's where I worked at. I got rid of as much of the weeds as I could, and then took away the carnations that were spent, and yeah, so the area is looking more like how I envisioned that it should look, and the roses are getting more space, the ground cover that are there are getting more space also, and this area should start filling in nicely with the things that I want to be there and not with the things that planted themselves out. Right, so the rest of the garden I need to continue working on, but I wanted to look at this plant today because it has started blooming, and that is a phlox, yeah. And in this area I have a couple of white ones, so that's a white one, but I also have purple and pink. So this area will be filling in with different types of phlox, and they are quite hardy plants, and they bloom from about this time of the year for the whole summer. As long as I keep cutting it back, then there will be new blooms will come on it until it start getting cold. So this plant, it's hardy, but it prefers to get watered regularly. If I don't water it regularly, then it start getting brown at the bottom, and it doesn't perform as well. So this is not, I wouldn't, for me and from my experience with this plant, it is not drought tolerant. I mean, it can withstand dryness, but it prefers to be watered regularly in order for it to perform well. So let's take a closer look at the blooms. They're quite attractive blooms. They open like that, and at the stem of the bloom there's a flush of pink there. So these are quite nice flowers. They're quite hardy, and yeah, nice, nice plants in the garden. Okay, I also wanted to look quickly at the driveway that I worked on a couple of, well, at least a month ago when I looked at the pot marigolds, and I had wanted to get rid of the weeds that was coming over from the neighbor's uh, forest. Let's put it at that. Well, let's put it like that. So I had planted pot marigolds at the driveway, and I am very pleased to say that it has turned out so well. Look at that. So this is the forest from our neighbor, and all of the weeds you can imagine, the seeds were coming over into the driveway, and the driveway was starting to look like over there. And so I wanted plants that could survive the soil that is here. It's not very good soil. It's very rough and not very lots of nutrient in it. And so I decided to plant pot marigold because they're so hardy and they grow basically everywhere. And look at that. I am so pleased with this. So these are the first ones that I planted, and they are doing very well. They're blooming. They have different colors of different shades. I should say different shades of yellow and orange, because this one looks quite a different color than that one that is beside it. So yeah, that's one of the reasons why I like pot marigold. And it goes way up to the beginning of the driveway, and I had planted it like every week. I did a little bit because it was quite a lot. So the ones at the top of the driveway are not blooming as yet. So but the ones to about halfway on the driveway are blooming and are looking pretty good. So yeah, that's an update with the pot marigold that I planted. And yeah, I highly recommend this plant if you have somewhere that is quite dry, somewhere that you don't want to be watering all the time, or somewhere that the soil isn't very good. Then I would recommend pot marigold. Just be careful that when you just plant it out, to make sure that you water it regularly, because if it's not watered regularly as seedlings, then they might not survive. So anything that you plant as a new plant, it doesn't matter how hardy they are, they still need a little bit of TLC at the beginning. That means make sure that they're supported. If they need support, make sure they're getting enough water until they are able to withstand the elements on their own, or until they have a good root system. So yeah, very, very happy with the way that is. And yeah, that's going to be it for this video, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye.